people underrate Drew.
100%. 100%.
Yeah, Drew is so good, man. It's crazy how good he is. And people like that defensive load with that offensive load that he had to take last year is actually nuts.
No,
like he's literally
100%.
the only perimeter shot creator on the roster.
No, their offense was so ugly. I was talking about it. I can't remember who I was talking about it with it in the community, but I was like, the Bucks they're gonna struggle because they have nothing offensively. They have no creation.
Yeah, last year.
Yeah, they had nothing.
It was bad. It was bad, and that's why Giannis's usage rate was like the highest usage rate of all time.
Yeah,
is because he was literally doing all the ball handling, all the playmaking outside of Drew, all of the rim creation, and it's because of that scheme, which is just the whatever. But
yeah. There's some people that there's a Blazers podcast, the Locked On Blazers podcast. They do gameless minute counters and just see how bad they are. And I don't want to see the Giannis list minutes.
It's bad, dude.
I bet they are
bad. It's
terrible,
especially on offense. It's horrible. like people point to that play. Like, look at that playoff game we won without Giannis. You want to know why? Because we hit 29 threes. That's why we won. That's never gonna happen again. You know what's crazy is like the Bucks have always been known as this really good catch and shoot team. We're not even that good of a shooting team.
You just have one or two good catch and shoot players.
Which I am perfectly fine with moving on from them because I'm over it. Just over it.
Yeah, but I also think you can move on from one because you're bringing in, I think MarJon is going to be a legitimate stretch. I think he'll be about a league average stretch this year.
Yeah, me too.
And somewhere it's like he provides cutting and other offensive things.
Speaking of MarJon, it's got about 83 points, baby. Let's get it.
We forgot to talk about that earlier. I can't believe it.
Oh, my goodness. Quick MarJon interrupts. My goodness. He was, I don't know. Did you watch the highlights of that game?
Dude.
They were crazy.
Some of the moves he were doing were insane.
Yeah, he had it in he had that in-air layup, and the dude jumped and he switched it from his right to his left, and he threw it. That was so nasty.
And he had this. Oh God, there were some of his handles. His handle looked so improved. I know these guys aren't good NBA players, but CJ Ellaby was guarding him. He wasn't a good NBA player, but he was an NBA player.
Yeah,
that. He was a great D1 basketball player. These guys are good basketball players.
Yeah, people always talk about pro-am it's just dudes off the street. No, these are good basketball.
Yeah, it's not
players.
me.
It's not like I could just go and show up to the crossover and be like, give me a jersey, baby. I'm hooping with freaking MarJon today. No.
It's really D2 or higher, I'd say.
Yeah, I am so excited for MarJon. I think I haven't bought a Bucks jersey in a long time. I think I'm going to get a MarJon jersey this year. I think that's going to be my new Bucks purchase for the year is then we get a MarJon jersey. I just want to know if MarJon, if you do see this clip, I absolutely love you. You're my favorite player ever. So, shout out my guy. So, yeah, hopefully,
out MarJon, dude, I love him. Washington legend.
Yeah, hopefully, I pray. I'm so excited because I'm really excited for this coaching staff to come in because every player's on a blank slate. There's nobody. None of these role players are guaranteed to their roles that they had last year.
Yeah,
and if MarJon is really looking like this, I think he has a legitimate chance to, if they want to put him at the 2, he could start at the 2, which might cause some spacing issues because his shooting's a little inconsistent, but he could be the 7th man off the bench. I would be perfectly fine with that.
Yeah. I think it's going to be something where he's definitely going to have to come off the bench. He's going to spend a lot of his time playing with Giannis, but I also think he's going to be spending a lot of time, I feel like, playing with Giannis and Drew. Yeah. And playing that Chris Middleton role, but I also kind of want to see him playing a ball handling role.
Yes.
Just to see, especially just against bench competition. Yes. Maybe in his Giannis list minutes.
Yes. If he could get some minutes running with the bench unit, that'd be great. If they're able to put in a bench unit where it doesn't have to be if he can play a backup ball handling minutes, because the Bucks have no backup point guard on the roster right now.
You can give Drew, Chris, or Giannis a break.
Yes, let MarJon develop. Okay, this is what I gotta say. The regular season for us, get a good seed, which we will be because we have Giannis Antetokounmpo on our team. It does not matter.
And Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday.
Drew Holiday, and Brook Lopez. You have 3 of the top.
Brook this whole
you have 3 of the top 10 defenders in the NBA. Okay, on your roster. Okay, you'll be good. All right.
Top 15 probably.
Yeah.
Top 10, arguably top 10.
Arguably top 10.
I mean, they're all DPOY level players. So
yes, literally 3 DPOY candidates, like year in year out DPOY candidates.
So there you go. Maybe
let
top 10.
Some of these and I think Adrian Griffin's going to, because he was a player development coach with the Raptors.
Mm-hmm.
Let these young guys run in the minutes and games that don't matter. Let's rest some games. Like we do not need to be in these battles with the Houston Rockets on December 27th.
No.
It doesn't limit the minutes. Let Marjan play. Let Andre Jackson Jr. play. Chris Livingston also, he's my favorite draft pick of the year. I don't know if you're familiar with him, but
no, I haven't watched much of him. You told me, I think last video, to check him out. I need to check him out. I still haven't watched much.
He's got potential, and he looked good in summer league. I'm excited for him. Like his shot looks good, and I think he could develop really good. I think he's about probably like a 2-year away player, but like let these guys come up and play in the G League. These G League guys, like let them come up, let them play in these random games where like Giannis, you're gonna play 2 quarters, and if we need you, you can play, but you don't need to be playing 10 minutes of the first quarter, 8 minutes of the second quarter, resting half the third, and then closing out the fourth. Like that doesn't need to be happening next year.
And I also think there's a way they can develop these guys in winning basketball as well, because you don't want to just play these guys when winning doesn't matter, because then they get in a winning situation in the playoffs and they crumple. But you can stagger these minutes where you could put Marjan and the bench just with no Giannis, Chris, or Drew. Because when you watch the Bucks, majority of the time, 2 or definitely at least 1 of the 3 are always on the floor.
Yeah,
and like you can give staggered minutes to where they can play.
Yeah, and if Giannis isn't on the floor, you still have Brook Lopez that's probably going to be out there, and he can run the pick and roll. He can pick and pop. Like I'm also intrigued. I wonder if they give Andre Jackson Jr. a couple of the backup point guard duties, because he's not a great shooter, and especially if he's running with the bench unit, like
he's a good player.
It's all role players that are decent shooters. Like so he can handle the ball.
Another underrated thing about Brook Lopez is that if like you're running a bench unit with Andre Jackson, Marjan, all these guys, and it's looking ugly, Brook can carry an offensive load for a little bit.
He's so good in the post. It's I'm so mad that we didn't use him in the post more. Like in that Heat series, I think we literally would have won in 5 games if we literally just let Brook post up. But